Ben Campbell, a brilliant MIT mathematics student, receives the letter he's been waiting for. He's accepted into Harvard. But the excitement fades almost instantly when he reads the tuition cost, $300,000. It's impossible. His only hope is a full scholarship, and the odds are brutal. Only 1 out of 76 applicants will receive it. He keeps his composure as the director bluntly tells him that grades and scores aren't enough. He needs to dazzle. Write an essay about something extraordinary, something unforgettable. Only problem, Ben hasn't done anything like that. He goes back to earning $8 an hour at a men's clothing store, working alongside his best friend, Miles. Recently promoted to assistant manager, but still far from being able to afford Harvard. He confesses to Miles that he can't even start the essay. Nothing in his life is worth writing about. It eats at him. He's done everything right, and it still isn't enough. Later that evening, Ben, Miles, and their friend Cam go out for a drink to celebrate Ben's birthday. Between beers and laughter, they talk about their science project, a self-driving car they hope will win an upcoming competition. Back on campus, Professor Mickey Rosa is lecturing on nonlinear equations. He casually asks the class to explain Newton's method. Ben raises his hand and confidently points out that Isaac Newton actually stole the method from Joseph Raphson, who published it 50 years earlier. The classroom goes silent. Mickey is impressed and challenges him with a Monty Hall problem. Ben solves it on the spot. As the class ends, Mickey quickly checks Ben's latest test, 97%. Later, Ben, Miles, and Cam are at the gym, shooting hoops. Ben catches a glimpse of Jill Taylor, the girl he secretly likes. She waves. He smiles and waves back, then realizes she was waving to someone behind him. That night, while studying alone, a student walks up and tells him to follow. Puzzled, Ben gets up and is led through a hallway into a side room. Inside, a small blackjack table, a few students, and Professor Rosa holding a piece of chalk. Mickey tells him plainly, "Call me Mickey, and welcome to the MIT blackjack team." He introduces the others, Kiana, Fisher, Choi, and Jill. They explain what they do. Every weekend they fly to Las Vegas. They count cards. They beat the tables. And now there's an open seat. Ben hesitates. It sounds insane. Dangerous. Jill smiles and leans in. "Come on, Ben, it'll be fun." But Ben shakes his head and walks out. The next day, Jill walks into his store pretending to shop for ties. She's not. She tells Ben he needs to experience more. Take a risk. Live. That night, Ben shows up to the blackjack club. He starts training. High cards are -1. Low cards +1. He memorizes trigger words for every possible count. Then they explain the roles. Kiana, Choi, and Jill are the spotters. They sit at the tables with small bets and track the count. When the deck turns hot, they signal Fisher or Ben, the big players, who stumble in like arrogant drunks and start betting heavy. For his trial run, Ben is sent to a sketchy underground casino. The spotters are already seated. Choi signals, the deck's hot. Ben sits, wins hand after hand, smiling, until a black bag drops over his head. He's dragged into a back room. A deep voice growls, "What's the count?" Ben resists, but cracks and says +18. The lights turn on. Test passed. He's in. The very next morning, they're on a flight to Las Vegas. Inside the luxury suite, Mickey hands out disguises and fake IDs. New identities. New lives. The rules: never know each other. Always order tonic water with lime. Look drunk, but stay sharp. At the Red Rock Casino, Kiana signals. Too sweet. Count is +16. Ben walks over casually, exchanges $10,000 in chips, and sits. Double down on eights, dealer busts. For $1,000. Next hand, blackjack. Another $3,000. He moves from table to table, building stacks. Fisher watches in pure disbelief. At dawn, Choi signals it's time to leave. They disappear. The next morning, Jill wakes Ben by tossing him his cut, $16,700. She smiles. He did better than Fisher. Ben admits he was nervous, but now it feels easy. At the meeting, Fisher shows up drunk. Mickey is furious. Fisher played into cold decks 3 times and ignored spotter signals. He humiliates Fisher and praises Ben. Back at the dorm, Ben hides his cash inside the ceiling tiles just as Miles and Cam walk in. He lies about helping a cousin move. They head out to a bar, and Ben buys Jill a beer. Miles and Cam stare like they've seen a ghost. Later, on a quiet train ride, Ben asks Jill if Mickey told her to convince him to join. She shakes her head gently. He's the smartest person she knows. That's why she asked. He leans in for a kiss. She pulls back. Not because she's upset. She just doesn't want to complicate things. Weekends pass in a blur of flights, casinos, and massive wins. Ben gets addicted, not just to the money, but to the identity. In Boston, he's Ben Campbell. In Vegas, he's whoever he wants. But head of security Cole Williams starts paying attention. He knows the signs, because he used to be a card counter too, before turning into the hunter. Fisher spirals. One night, drunk and jealous, he sits down at Ben's table and drops hints that they know each other. Cameras catch everything. Williams rewinds the footage, noticing Kiana, the tiny bets, and Ben always appearing after the signal. He moves in, but Fisher causes a scene and they slip out. At a bar, Mickey fires Fisher, then warns the team. The casino will swap out all chips in 24 hours. They have to cash out immediately. That's impossible, unless they use dancers to do the exchanges anonymously. Ben suggests it. Mickey calls him a genius. That night, Jill invites Ben to her suite. Soft lights, a quiet view of the Vegas Strip. They finally make love. But back in Boston, Ben misses meetings. Shows up late to the science project. Brings the wrong part. Miles and Cam are done with him. On the next Vegas trip, Ben's distracted. He ignores the exit signal. Keeps betting. Jill whispers, begs him to walk, but he stays. He loses $200,000 in one night. Back in the suite, Mickey explodes. Ben apologizes. Mickey doesn't care. Ben will pay, one way or another. He storms out and quits the team. The others want to keep going without him, since Mickey always took 50% of the profits. Jill protests. This wasn't supposed to go this far. But Ben ignores her. They return to the tables. Mickey watches and tips off security. Williams grabs Ben and drags him to a dark back room. Beats him bloody. Tells him face recognition is coming. His time is up. And by the way, he and Mickey go way back. He used to hunt him too. Ben returns to MIT. Finds a letter. He's ineligible to graduate. Mickey's associate marked one of his courses incomplete. He rushes into his dorm. The room is trashed. His money is gone. He goes to Jill. Apologizes. Begs not to lose her too. Miles and Cam win the robotics competition without him. Ben shows up to congratulate them. Finally tells Miles everything. They reconcile. In desperation, Ben goes to Mickey with one last proposal. One more run before the biometric systems come online. Mickey agrees, and this time, he will be one of the big players. Vegas. One last heist. A flurry of chips, signals, hidden identities. They make $640,000 before Williams suddenly appears. Jill signals the danger. They run. Through rows of slot machines. Into the staff area. Breathing hard, Mickey shouts for Ben to throw the bag of chips and split up. Ben tosses it to him. Mickey escapes. Jumps into a limo. Laughs victoriously. Then opens the bag. Fake chips. Ben switched them during the chase. Williams meets Ben outside the casino. He knows everything. Mickey screwed him over years ago, and tonight, Ben helped him settle the score. In return, Ben was supposed to keep the winnings, but Williams has a gun. He calmly takes the money, says he needs it for retirement, and tells Ben that someone as smart as him will find another way to succeed. As Mickey is dragged into the same interrogation room where Ben was once tested, Ben walks back into his old life. Only now, Miles, Cam, and even Jill stand beside him. They've learned card counting too. The six of them form a new team, and they win. A lot. Ben finishes the story in the scholarship director's office. The man leans back, eyes wide, absolutely dazzled.